Hey everyone, I'm Sean Fargo, founder of Mindfulness Exercises. Hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. Just taking a few minutes break from work right now, just resting on the couch, sipping on my tea. And I was remembering my very first meditation teacher who really took the time to sit with me on an ongoing basis. I was living in Beijing, China at the time. I was buying a lot of jewelry and furniture and art decor all around China and exporting it to the United States. This is before I became a monk. But I found this meditation teacher in Beijing who spoke some English. His name is Wei. And he had like a little meditation studio. He didn't have very many students, but he spoke some English, enough to be able to convey basic thoughts and practices to me. Really, really nice guy. He had lived as a Taoist hermit for decades in the mountains, and he was really into Taoist philosophy and teachings, uh, you know, acupuncture and movement of chi and cultivation of chi. He played the game called Go, which was like my favorite game for a long time. Very, very, very simple to learn, but very hard to master. I always liked that paradox. But anyway, my very first meditation teacher, Wei, was a really, really sweet man who conveyed just a lot of presence, a lot of compassion, a lot of strength and like groundedness. Um, Probably the wisest person I had met up until then. And it was really his quality of being that resonated with me and that inspired me to become a Buddhist monk myself. But when he would start our meditation practices together, he would often say the words, "There is nothing to do, there's nowhere to go, there's no one to be." And it was a really wonderful reminder that we're just sitting here. We're sitting here on a cushion or a chair, just being, not doing, not going, not being anyone who we feel like we have to be. We don't have to be a certain kind of worker, or we don't have to carry some persona in order for people to like us or anything like that. We're just being with our moment to moment experience without judgment. And so he would say though that phrase, and it was just a really wonderful reminder just to drop into the body, into this experience, into our senses, and to be able to kind of observe our thoughts and just kind of notice how this experience is. So there's nothing to do, nowhere to go, no one to be. And I found that when I really took that to heart, I was able to meditate for longer periods of time, because I didn't feel that compulsion to plan or to remember, what happened yesterday. No compulsion to go anywhere or to like pretend like I was someone who I wasn't. I just had a very simple task of just being, because we all need that balance between doing and being. And these days we're so caught up into doing, at least most of us are, with our jobs and the pandemic and everything that's going on with politics and climate change. Like a lot of us are worried and are doing everything we can to make sure that our families are taken care of, that our incomes are going to be sufficient, to provide food on the table, to make sure we're going to be okay. And so we get caught up in this loop of doing, doing, doing. And, there's that old adage that if you don't think that you have 20 minutes a day to meditate, then that's a sign that you probably need 40 minutes a day to meditate, to give us that perspective and that balance, and um, also clarity of mind. The more that we meditate, the better the quality of our decisions and our presence, which really has a huge impact. Neuroscience shows this, has a greater impact on our ability to lead and to make smarter choices, both for practical business-related decisions as well as decisions on how to take care of ourselves. Are we caring for ourselves for the long term rather than just coping with unhealthy habits to get by in the short term? And so, with this endless loop of doing, we need more of these opportunities to just be, not to do, not to go anywhere, not to be anything, but just to be. And so I do encourage people, generally speaking, to increase the length of your meditation practice a little bit each month or so, to practice really being able to be with more and more kinds of experiences. Because the longer that we sit, the more that comes up. The longer we sit, the more emotions come up, the more memories surface, the more physical pain we might experience if we're uncomfortable sitting in the same posture for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes. And when we're able to face what's coming up, whether it's emotional or physical, we can practice not judging it. We can practice not reacting to it. We can practice not hiding from it. We can practice not exaggerating it. And we can practice just being with it with less and less judgment. And this process of being with more types of experience, but also harder types of experience, this builds strength. This builds resilience. This builds perspective. This builds wisdom. This ability to be with more kinds of experience at different levels of intensity. And the joy on the other side of that is profound. It's really sweet. And there's a greater level of peace that comes with that. Lightness that comes from that. Equanimity and perspective that comes from that. And self-appreciation, not in terms of feeding our ego or anything like that, but we like ourselves more because we know we have that inner resource. We are capable of meeting just about anything because we have practice. We have that firsthand, direct experience that, yeah, I can be with this too, and it's going to be okay. I have the tools to be able to be with this experience. And so, the encouragement is to not only lengthen our daily practice more and more, but also to find these periods of time to do retreats, to do these multi-day practice sessions where we're being held in a safe, nurturing container by a mindfulness teacher and practicing multiple hours a day, multiple days in a row. And so for those of you who have not done a retreat before, I highly recommend maybe a 3-day or a 5-day or a 10-day retreat, either in person at a retreat center or online. And for those of you who have done retreats, then you know what I'm talking about. It's both challenging but also highly rewarding. And in these days with the pandemic and economic uncertainty, it can be really difficult to find the time to fly somewhere and do a retreat. Um, and it's been really sweet to see how much benefit we can still get from Zoom online retreats. And so I've been offering more and more Zoom online retreats to our community. And I tell you, I think that each retreat couldn't get better, and yet they still do. The community that comes to our retreats are really sincere, open, authentic, and respectful. I really appreciate all the people who come to our retreats, and invite you to join us if you want. We have a retreat about once a month now, and posting a link to where you can learn more about our retreats in the description area below. But yeah, I think retreats are the bee's knees, and those are the times when I've really felt the biggest leaps in my practice is being on retreat. Before I was a monk, while I was a monk, after I was a monk. And I've done lots of retreats. I've done a couple of 3-month retreats where I'm just sitting alone by myself, meditating. Done several 3-week retreats and a couple 2-week retreats, and I think 3-day online retreats are very, very great too. So, but the first third of a retreat can be the most difficult because we have all this momentum of thinking and planning. We're carrying a lot of these emotions from our daily life with us. We're tired. It can be really tough to slow down. And so the first third of a retreat can be the hardest. But then after that, we find that we settle our minds, settle into our bodies. It's far easier to connect with breathing, with our senses, and we start to feel that clarity of mind come, that peace of mind. And then the last third of the retreat can often be filled with joy and bliss and happiness and insights and, oh my goodness, this is so great. I want to do this all the time now. And so I love it. I think it's great. A little biased, but yeah, I do encourage all of you to look into retreats, not just mine, but there's great retreat centers out there who also do online retreats. Spirit Rock Meditation Center, I'm particularly fond of. Insight Meditation Society, and then there's also Insight Meditation Center that offers great retreats. There's a center called 1440 that offers great retreats too. So wherever you are in the world, you can do a retreat. Anyone can do a retreat, whether you're new to mindfulness or not. All it takes is a little bit of courage and sincerity to really just kind of be with yourself in the midst of a group container where we support each other. So in the retreats that I offer a wide variety of meditations to support you, to increase presence, self-compassion, resilience. Everything is evidence-based and, just supportive of your practice, where I offer a lot of time for personalized Q&A, offer a lot of resources that you can download to supplement the retreat, to deepen your practice and to help you find that consistency of practice and to help you to unlock new layers of self-awareness. So if that's appealing to you, check out the link below. Be happy to welcome you anytime. And yeah, wish you well wherever you are in the world, and take good care. Bye.